Okay. Alright guys, back again. Thank you to all my followers. You're slowly growing. We're past the 100 mark. We're getting going. So today it's going to be another freeform bowl. I'm sorry, but I've been wanting to do this design for quite a while. And I've just been trying to find some up for pips. It's going to be a melon. So it's going to be green, a greeny white layer, then a red layer. I just happen to have mica powder that's called watermelon by Texperts. I'll be using my HX DFX ZFX inks. This one's ruby, that's going in with the melon. For the white, just using shimmer white and the Hide FX Indicana stone white. Reason being, I got these nail arts. I bought a load of trays. There was 10 trays altogether. And look at these little black ones here. Let me get my magic pen. And it come with this pencil. This thing is brilliant because you just touch and it picks up these individual pieces. And I don't know if you can see there. Let me try and put it on there. Look. They look just like melon pips. So I should be using them. Oh, that one pinged off somewhere. Never mind. I should be using them later. But for now, I'm going to get the green layer in. Leave that for a good hour or so to go rigid. You might notice my mould looks like it's got craters in it. It's just staining from when I did my raindrop mould. So take that in mind if you're doing the raindrop with UV resin. It might stain. It shouldn't affect the finish, but we'll find out. Right, so I've mixed up green using Resin Pro Sahara Motion Pigment Powder. That green, they don't have a colour name, so none of them. It's 10 altogether, but that's the Sahara Shift Resin Pro pack. And I've added the HXD ZFX J-Light green. I'm going to put 20 ml of this to one side, and I'm going to add some malachite dark green to make it a bit darker, and I'm going to do dark green bits because the melon on the outside isn't just one plain green, it has like a mottled. So I'm going to try my best at creating something similar. Whichever way I do this around, whether I do the red first, then I risk my pips either floating or not showing. So I'm going to go for the green first. So I'm just weighing off 20 grams, I think should be enough. I've got 140, well almost 150 grams in here. So 20 grams I reckon for the dark green. Actually we'll go for 30. There we go, that's 30. Right, we'll pop that over there a minute. Get a little bit here. Now, how much of this darker green? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember with inks, no matter what the inks are, never more than 5% of your total volume. So, if you're worried, do the maths first before you mix. Otherwise you'll end up with pieces that won't harden right off. They'll still be a little bit flexible, which can be annoying. How much darker are we? We're a bit darker, but I want it to be a bit more darker. So, let me work out the maths now. So I put 20 drops in there, which is about 1 point some up percent. So yeah, I could put another 5 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember with inks, always give them a good shaky. I wish with all inks they come with a little ball bearing in, because that would help with the mixing process. And it wouldn't cost the companies that much more. A few pennies. Well, that's much like an emerald green now. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put, because I don't want to keep putting more green in, I'm going to put a couple of drops of the obsidian, which is basically black. So 1, 2. Oh yeah, that's darkened it up nicely. See, I could have kept putting dark green in there and I wouldn't have got the dark green I wanted. I don't know if you guys can see that. The mica powder's kind of hiding it. Let me put these inks away a minute. Out the way. Put the mica powder back in its spot. I've always got to have everything where it belongs, otherwise I lose stuff. You can clearly see the difference. Oh, let me bring you over here. Clearly see the difference. It's a lot darker. Yeah, right, so how am I going to do this? Let's try. Well, that's not going to work. Alright, scrape me stirrer. That's what I love about yogurt pots. Just draw everything flat like that. And look, spotless. Always got to remember for the bottom though. Let's get a little bit on the bottom there. Whoop. Whoopla. Which is simply just like that. And it's gone. It doesn't even need wiping. Right, so how am I going to do this? There's a little foreigner in there. There's another one. There's another one over there. Right, that's up out the way. That's ink, that's ink, that's right, that's resin blitz. So, gonna kind of go. Oh, this ain't gonna work. Gonna have to go left-handed here. Be prepared for me to bugger it up now. I'll see what I mean. I am useless left-handed. But that's kind of what I want anyway. So let's just, doesn't have to be perfect. You know, not that disastrous. Right, let's try and tidy this one up a little bit. Spread these ones a little bit. Alright, let's pour out the last bit. Right, set that to one side to be cleaned. Quickly wipe my fingers because I got resin on my fingers, even though I've got gloves on. Always wear my nitrile, not I always say nitromors. They're nitrile gloves. Right, now to try and kind of pour kind of in between a bit. Right, to scrape the edges. I hope that green is dark enough. Oh, I got it all on the edges here. What a messy puppy. Do you know, my partner says when we go out for a meal, we always go back so I can apologise. Boom, boom. Yeah, that was a rubbish joke, wasn't it? But yeah, we always got to go back just so I can apologise. Right. So, the next layer. Don't know why I put all my green away. Oh, silly me. I'll do that in a minute. Let's cover that for now. Good old cake cover. As I've started linking everything I use in the description, I think it's only right that I remember this time to include my cake cover. Just in case you guys are looking for a cake cover. They are brilliant for stopping bits and bobs, lint, hairs, dust in general. Get into your precious resin whilst it's slowly going off. Right, so this is going to be left now for about an hour. Then I'll come back and do my white with a little bit of green in it layer. And then it'll be the watermelon flesh, so the red. So right, I'm going to carry on cleaning my pots. I know they're yogurt pots and I should chuck them away, but I just like recycling as many times as I can, reusing. There's no reason why I shouldn't. Saves money and helps the planet. Right, so I'm going to leave that for now, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Right, we're back. May have noticed I poured a little bit extra green in because I wasn't happy. Still see some of the red coming through, but hopefully won't show up in the final thing. It stopped moving, so I think I can get away with the next coat. So what I thought I'd do, I take this opportunity to show how I do my mixing. So first of all, I've used number 13 light green of the Texperts mica powder and number 1 shimmer white. I've put a very small amount, let me put that to one side, in here. You can see that. So get my scales up here so you can see. Turn the scales on, they're automatically 0. Yeah, you can see that well enough. So, what I do, as always, my Harter E45 resin. Part B, I always have part B first. Why? It's the thinner part of the two, and also the lighter. So if you put part B in first, and then part A, they'll kind of start mixing in the dish, in your container, in case here, my yogurt pot. they'll start mixing before you start stirring, whereas you put part A in first, the thicker, that's going to glue itself to the bottom. So when you pour part B in, it'll mix a little bit, but then float, which means you're going to have to do a lot more scraping. Anyway, this way out. So I want, let me think, I've got 140 in there. It's a bit more than that. So I reckon 60. So 20, because this is 100 part A to 47 part B. So I want 60. Oh my god, here we go, doing the maths. So 4.7. No, that's not going to work. So basically it's 40 and 20. But I don't need that much. So I'll put 18 of this in. That's roughly about right. Give or take. I always let it settle for a few seconds because electric scales will adjust themselves. See, look, it's going 182, 184, 180. Sticking on 182. That'll do me nicely. So our part A, we want that to go up to 60 now. Or you can hit the 0 button and then pour 40. I'm sorry you can't see this, guys, but I'm right-handed. When I get my new resin station created, the camera will be on the left side, so you'll, oh, a bit too much there. You'll be able to see better. So I've got part B here in the smaller bottle. I've gone 0.4 over 4. So another 2. So 6, 7. There we go. That's about right, roughly. So we'll zero them back out and turn them off. Set them to one side. Now my ink. Gonna add that now. You can see that if I get you up to the camera, and you see the, like, you can see where it started to mix already. So I'm going to go in with 2 drops of the green. And that green, by the way, is called Peridot. And the white, again, is Tridanka stone. It's white, or stone white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is guesstimating, but I think this should be pretty close to what I want, which is a very, very pale, opaque green. More white than green. Also, always put your mica powder in first. It stops you from getting pockets of powder floating up to the top. Right, now how I mix. Normally, I set my stopwatch. Most of us have got watches like this these days. If you haven't, use your phone. Put a stopwatch on. Once part A and B are mixed and you put this in, start your stopwatch. And first of all, hand pressure on this side. Hold your stirrer like this. Blade up against there. Bottom, push right down firmly. And scrape the outside on an angle like that. 2 or 3 passes all the way around. And then stir for a minute. This resin is quite thin, so I can get away with stirring a bit, like, quicker than some resins. Like I say, if you're using a 50-50 resin, you want to be stirring like this. Just take your time. There's no rush. Unless your project's going to take you 20 minutes to do and your work time is only 20 minutes. Then you might want to slowly speed it up. And what I like to do is, while I'm doing this bit, is scrape all around the bottom. All around. And like I say, every minute, so 5 times in 5 to 6 minutes of stirring, you want to scrape around the edges like that, push them right down to the bottom. That's why I love these, because they're flexible and they kind of act like a windscreen wiper. I can't see it, but I can feel it doing that with the pressure from this hand pushing that way and this pushing that way and down. This is how I mix. This is how everyone should mix, really, in my opinion. But hey ho, you might use a tool like a Dremel with one of those whisks on, or you bought one specifically for mixing resin. I'm not keen on them. I know someone who's got one, and it introduces a lot of air, even though it says it doesn't. When he brings it up to here to make sure he's scraped all the way around, air bubbles get in there and it's a nightmare. I have got a vacuum chamber, but with this resin I rarely use it. I use it with my deep pour, and I haven't got any at the moment, but I like Resin Pro Deluxe resin. It's a very viscous, very thick viscous resin. 9 times out of 10, part A has to be put in warm water or put near a radiator, which is at the back of my table here. And when I get my new workstation, it'll be to my right, and part of the workstation will go right up to the radiator, so I can just put the bottle right in the corner a good hour or so before I need to use it. Anyway, back to this. So, like I say, stir for a minute, scrape all the way around, plenty of pressure. Go careful you don't chuck it all over the place. Always do it on a good solid flat surface. To be honest, this is mixed enough now. I know it is. I can tell by the way it's looking. It's a beauty. If I didn't have any mica or any ink in here, part B, if you look at it in a big container, is slightly yellow, and part A is crystal clear. When you pour them together, they go cloudy, but when you mix, it goes back to crystal clear. There's no yellow. This resin, so far in a year, I've had none of my pieces yellow. Whereas Texpert's resin, I've got a piece that I've got finished. I started when I very first started doing resin. It's oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Steampunk style clock. I didn't have the canvas dead level because it's done on a canvas, and the resin kind of went to one corner really thick and nothing at the other corner. I have been sanding it every now and again. I had to wait a long time for the resin to fully go rock hard, and now it's started to yellow. So I'm going to have to wait until I can afford a sander. At the moment I've got the car's MOT, tax and insurance to sort out, so I'm pretty much going to be skint for the next 2 months. Unless I can sell some of my work, I shan't be buying a sander, a rotary sander, for a while. I've got my eye on one I like, and a load of buffering pads and polishing pads. Anyway, right, so I think that is mixed enough. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about air bubbles. What little air bubbles are in there will come to the surface. Good thing with yogurt pots, if you hold this almost flat, it'll pretty much get it every time, I guess. Because I cut the rim off with a pair of scissors, they're not always dead flush. Anyway, that's pretty clean. Right then, just going to pour this, because it is literally just got a coat, a thin coat. That's all I want. So it gives that white flesh, whitey greeny flesh in between the green and the red. It will be enough. I know it will be. I'm just going to have to do a bit of tilting. So as always, it's another good thing with these Nick Pro silicone stirrers. I noticed at the moment the only way to buy them is to buy them with measuring jugs and these horrid things. I hate them. They're pointless. Finger gloves. They're okay for UV resin, but anything else, they're useless. As are these PVC gloves that come with kits. Waste of money, waste of time. They should just put one pair of nitrile gloves in there, because they're reusable. This pair, God knows how many times I've worn them now to do loads of resin, and they're still good. I'd rather have one pair of these than 20 finger gloves and 6 pairs of bloody crappy plastic gloves. One size fits all. I've got quite big hands, quite fat fingers. They do not fit. This bit never gets to there. It's always about here, and then they split down the side. You end up with resin in them, and it's just a nightmare. Right, I'm gonna have to go really careful there because I can. Whoa, see what I mean? It's gonna start. It's starting to mix. I didn't leave it long enough. Ah! This might be a total disaster now, guys. I've got a feeling it is. I can see. This isn't going to come out like I wanted it to. Never mind. But like I say, I like showing you the disasters so you can see what not to do and what to do. The thing is, with making these freeform bowls, you're kind of gambling. Because to shape them, you need the resin to be quite soft. And if I waited hours for that first layer to set up properly, who knows? Right. All these bubbles. Get rid of them, no problem. The Von Hoos was in the house. Right. There's more bubbles coming up. I think I'm just going to have to leave that. Keep my fingers crossed. Got a feeling this is going to be a fail. Guarantee you now. Pretty much. I'm going to be optimistic. But I hit it with a bit of alcohol, I think. Pardon me. Right, cover it. Keep my fingers crossed. Come back in about 2 hours time. Alexa, set a timer for 2 hours, please.
2 hours, starting now.
So, in 2 hours, then I need to have Alexa nearby as well for timers. Come back in 2 hours. See what it looks like. I think we pretty much got all the bubbles. Run myself a bath, so this resin is good for an hour before it starts setting up at all on this sort of depth and width. So I got plenty of time to have my bath, come back, check for bubbles, gloves off to be reused, come back, check it, pop any more bubbles because I can see some starting to come up towards the surface already. And then after 2 hours I shall be back and we shall pour the red in, fingers crossed, and then add our pips. I've got more than enough pips in number 2 to do 3 or 4 of these, I reckon. Do like them. It's quite crazy because all the other colours are silver on the black back, but the black isn't. It's like there's no wrong way up or right way up. Brilliant. Whereas the red, you can see silver on the back. Even the silver, silver is silver. Purple is silver on the back. Pink, silver on the back. Blue, silver on the back. No green ones. I didn't notice that. And that's weird as well. These stars, you got green, purple, black, blue, red, and another purple. There's no pink. There's no nice blue. There's no silver. But the black are jet black. Ooh, they're actually... Oh, I didn't notice that. Where's my magic pencil gone? Oh, where's that gone? Okay. Oh, there it is on the floor. Oh, disgraceful. Let me get one of these out. Oh, wow. They're like flat backed but raised on the top. Ooh. Right, guys. So, be back for the next stage. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Right. Hopefully it's alright on the other side. I don't know yet. There's no way of telling. But we are definitely not moving. It's been 2.5 hours now, I think. So I've mixed up some red with ruby pigment from the ZFX inks. I will put a link in description below of all the stuff I use. It's epoxy hards pigmenti. That's the one, HXDZFX. They're nice pigments. They're not alcohol, so they're UV safe. And I also added, aptly, 22 Texpert's watermelon mica powder. It's not the red I wanted. I wanted it to be a bit brighter. Not this red, but more like that red, but a bit brighter. Never mind. It's close. It's like a pinky red. Right, hopefully we won't get the same issue as we had just now pouring the light green on. But it, for some reason, just starting to melt through. Really weird, that. So we'll work quickly. Slap it in there like that. And we'll quickly... You see it doing these lines again. We'll have to look into that, because I don't know why it would react that quick. See, I don't reckon that's enough. It needs to be darker, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is mix up another 60 ml. $60 grams, not mil. Right. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. That's about 2%. And where's my little shovel? There she is. And a shovel full of watermelon. Right, I'm going to pause you guys for a minute. Right. Oh, actually recording? Yeah. Right, so I've mixed up some more. Just going to go in. There is air bubbles in it, but not too worried about that. Some more like it. Again, swishy swish. Right, let's let that settle for a few minutes. Right, out of interest, I just want to see if these float or sink. Looks like they might float. So what I'm going to do is leave that for 10, 15, 20 minutes and then come back and drop my pips in. A little bit of acidic resin left there, might as well. That's the cooker. Sorry guys, right. Be back in a bit. Right, I'm going to keep this short, this bit. My pip hasn't sank. So it's just going to be a case of doing just, excuse me, the washing machine's on. That's why I said this is going to be short. Come on. I think I'm going to be better off with tweezers. I'm really sorry about that. In fact, what I'm going to do is right, as that pulls. So it looks like it's going to be easier to add them by hand. So I'm going to continue this and I'll be back when it's ready to shape it. Right, so to end this video. So, what's happened since the last part? I did try and record the unmolding, etc. I didn't realise the phone was not recording, so that was a disaster. Then I've woken up, this bowl was flat. As you can see, it's risen. So, I don't know. Plus, when I took the piece out of the mould, I set my clock for 2 o'clock in the morning, forgetting that the clocks were going forward. So I actually demolded it an hour earlier, and I just don't know what I'm going to find under here. So let's see. Well, that was good. Put that to one side. Oh dear, we lost our shape. Kind of got the melon skin effect. Look at this. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Right, so, oh my god. Oh, what the? Okay. That's something new. You guys, I'll show you here. You can see it the best there, look. It's, you know, it's almost like juicy bits, but this bottom bit is obviously a bit too soft, where I took it out of the mould a bit too early. Oh, and there's fingerprints. Oh god. Okay. Bit of a disaster. It's bloody heavy. You can see how thick it is, and you can't see that white layer that I put in there. Oh, a little bit there. In general, no. Oh dear. Bit of a disaster, guys. But in general, you know what I mean, that looks, without the fingerprints, hold it on this angle, that angle. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I might put it in hot water and try and shape it a little bit more. But you can see where it come out of the mold too early because this resin is just kind of oozed, dripped. That's a shame. Oh, never mind. We live and learn. Like I said, as always, I'll post my mistakes as well as my successes because that's how we all learn. So yeah, when the clocks are going forward, do not set a timer because it can backfire on you. Plus I can feel, oh look, a little bit there. Feel a little bit there and there. Yeah, so who knows? I'll post some final pictures. Might do a bit of sanding. There's a bit of red there. Don't know how that's got there. Maybe even coat this on the... I don't know how I'm going to work this one out. It might be just a write-off. And a keeper. But look how thick I made it. There's almost 300 grams of resin in there. Never mind. Onwards and upwards and on to the next project. See you guys soon. Live and learn. Do not set a timer when the clocks are going forward. Sorry. My stupid. Oh, never mind. It could have been so much better. We'll see. I'll play with that. Okay guys, see you in the next one. Hit the follow button, the like, make a comment, and share. I forgot about sharing. Share some of my videos, please. Share them with your friends, your resin friends. Okay guys, right, see you in the next one. Bye. Okay everybody, so I've finished off the back. I've got rid of all the excess red that had somehow managed to get away onto this side. As you can see, it really does look like a melon skin. There's this little white dot, I don't know what that's all about, but I will sort that out eventually. Now, I need all you guys and girls, ladies, gentlemen. How do I sort this out? I've got fingerprints, I've got this rim, this bit up here, and all this bit down here. I don't mind if you think like pouring a bit more red in here, adding some more pips on top. I've still got some more. I mean, what would you do with this? I don't mind these bits. They're like the juice is coming away from the melon. Sad that I lost that white bit. You know, it's pretty much because it's lost. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there is a bit of depth to the skin. It really looks good. Camera doesn't do it justice. Well, you can kind of see. Anyway, what do I do with this? So guys, it's up to you, because at the moment I don't know what to do with it apart from call it a day. All these fingerprints and divots. Call it a day, call it a keeper, and a big lesson learned. Do not mess about late at night, and especially when the clocks are going to change. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. It's a real shame because some bits are beautiful. Oh. Right guys, it's up to you. So, down below, I will just put in the description what I used. All the other bits and bobs. And then I'll leave it to you guys to put it in the comments how to fix it. I'm sure some of you have got some great ideas. You know, use your imagination. I mean, you can see this is quite flat, but this bit here is another divot. Okay guys, so hit that follow button, like, share, and in the comments please give me some recommendations. And I would like to say a big hello to all my new followers. I mean, my followers have jumped big time. I would like to call you all family and friends because we're all in this resin thing together. So yeah, instead of followers, you're friends and family. So people, hit me with ideas. I'll see you in the next video.